and I'd like to hear from everybody, and I want everybody to hear everybody. Do you think black love is more challenging? Do you think black love is more challenging? And explain. But you have 2 minutes.
Yes.
So I believe in black love. I have amazing black women who are my sister friends that check in on me, that I check in on them, and they sustain me and fill my cup in a way that I never thought I would have. And so I can't be as great as I am if I didn't have that village that supported me. I believe in black love as a relationship. I was married to a black man, half Hindu Indian man, because that's a whole nother thing, but for 18 years, and I believe that there is a space where you can find that. However,
is it more challenging?
It is more challenging because I do believe that black men, especially when they have a black woman who is very determined to do her thing, it becomes either a competition or they feel less than. And what I have not seen yet, since now being divorced and trying to date black men, is that it is a problem when they are involved with a successful black woman, where then now they're like, you're being too masculine. And I would agree that there are times where I tell myself I need to check myself at the door because I'm making decisions and moves during the day, and I want a man that can lead me. However, if I've got to check the GPS on where we're going, you're not really leading, and that's a problem. So black men need to also check where they're going and what their goals are, because in order for you to lead, you've got to have a North Star. And I put that in the sense of a business sense, because if we're all in our business, we're entrepreneurs who work for corporations, there's a business continuity plan, there's an executive board, there are advisors. We need that in our life, especially when we're in relationships, in order to make the right decisions to support each other. And that's what I haven't seen and started to date again, where I'm like, I don't know if I'm checking for black men anymore. Asian men is looking good. Jewish men are looking good. I'm open. Applications are open to everybody at this point.
I'm hearing this all the time.
So
you practice DEI?
Yeah.
Pass.
Lordy. I do think black love is hard because we come from so many different backgrounds and we have so many different scars. And when I think when you fall in love in your 20s versus when you fall in love in your 40s, 50s,
you are different.
Yes. So I think when you fall in love in your 20s, late 20s, 30s, you still have that Pollyanna effect of, he's fine, I can change him, we can just figure it out. And then when you get to your 40s and 50s, you're like, fuck that shit. I got bills to pay, I got college tuition to pay for, and I need to figure this out and make it easier for me. Yes. So I think as we evolve too, we have to make sure that the person who we're with will evolve with us. Or respect how we evolve, because like who I was in my 20s, I'm not that.
But is that unique to black people though? Because would not be the same for all races?
I don't see it in all races, because honestly, especially as a black woman, I think we go through so many different phases in our lives. Yeah. And I don't know, like I'm 45 now. When I was in 20, I was so insecure. 45, I'm like, I'm me. Yeah. This is who I am. I done birthed a baby. I done got divorced. I done buried my mom. Like, I'm different. And so somebody needs to love and respect me for who I am and what I've accomplished. Yes. And I've gone through a divorce too. Very fresh out of divorce. The person who I divorced, they started hating on me. Because I started rising and they were stagnant.
They talk a lot about the competition between black men and black women.
Right. And so they felt like I was emasculated.
Which is part of the election as well.
Right. Yes. Part of the election as well. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm not going to go into ages and things like that, but I will say that
black love 21 still. I went to college with her.
21. I'll say 31. Anyway, I would say black love is real. I would say black love is tough. But I will say that if you want to work on it, you can. And if you don't. But you make sure, like he said, love yourself first.
Yes.
In anything. I don't have to go there. If you know me, you know me. If you know me and my love, then you know me. That's it. But you gotta be yourself. So if you feel like you have to do something or you want to do something, do it. and stand on it. Head up, head high.
10 toes down.
Stand on.
And that's it. And I think that's why I am very emotional right now because of what I said. I mean, like literally, I had to call to get my transcripts to make this next move that I was scared for 24 years.
Girl, we behind you though. Oh, yes, we're so proud of you.
6 years. Yes. I can go out in 6 years and only still have 3 more years before I get the rest of whatever I'm going to get. But you still got to invest and you got to do stuff. And I don't know what the political of what this is, even though that's my girl. But I will say, anybody who knows me, my company is still with DEI.
Yes.
You know that. And anybody knows me, I've been there forever.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Okay, so I would say for me, I'll just start this with a caveat. I'm a dreamer, and I refuse to give up. So I do believe in Black love. I refuse to give up in it. My family, once I got to a certain level of success, their version of what success looks like, I had interventions where it was like, well, you do know to get married, you're gonna have to open up your options. Okay, yeah, I'll open them up to DC. I'm taking my time to DC. And it's like, no, honey, you're gonna have to date white. You're gonna have to date outside of your race. And really, you have to look in that mirror. You have to decide, what do you actually want for yourself? And money-wise, sure, on paper, I'm supposed to marry a white man because the percentage of Black men that are available and quote unquote at my level are very few and far in between. However, that part, but as far as the like trying to sell me off for one of those arranged marriages, ill. And, there was a study done where they did 6 attributes ranging from provision to love. And because of our circumstances, Black women were the only women out of Black women, biracial, Asian, Latino, Hispanic, non-Hispanic, all of them, Black women are the only population who we are raised to get married for love. And when you are raised to marry for love, and you're the only race of women who is raised to marry for love, in the world that we're in the country that we're in, that becomes a problem. Because every other race of woman was taught to marry for provision as their number one. Black women, we were the only one that provision was number 6 out of the 6 characteristics.
Now, my first love, I did marry for provision. That was one thing I learned from my white girlfriend. I did marry for provision because I was good. But you
no worries. For me, like, I do believe in Black love. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard as hell because of all of this outside noise. And honestly, even though we have these conversations all the time, these conversations is what's put to the forefront of social media. So to me, it's propaganda, because I know too many Black men who have a regular, and when I say regular pretty, I'm talking about like naturally beautiful, don't got a BBL, ain't starving herself, not Botox down, don't got her face pulled back by the back of her scalp. Like, they have real beautiful Black wives. And like all of these lessons that I learned from like other men, that they have these beautiful Black wives who are real people, who are real multimillionaires, and that's not put to the forefront.
Oh, I'm gonna go last, but I was gonna say what you're saying is exactly. I've always been frustrated. We have to heal ourselves, because I'm like, we come from a damage. We all have extreme trauma. Right? And so, I've had Black men say to me, white men are easy to love. I said, yeah, they absolutely should be. Right. They got no different way. I said, and guess what? And white men are much easier to love too. Like, they get to you in a whole different way, because they don't have the same trauma. And I was like, so Black people need to come together and understand we're coming together as two flawed, fucked up, traumatized people that come from a traumatized people, and we love each other in spite of all that, right? And like, we love each other in spite of all that, and that's the beauty. Because when Black love endures, it is like the most beautiful fucking thing. And even when it doesn't endure, it's beautiful in that moment, because we're like, I see you. I see you. Like when your man walks in the door and you're a black woman, you know what he went through that day just for that day. Because you're a black woman and you can relate to it. And vice versa, right? And so it's beautiful, but what annoys me sometimes is I hear these black men because they think because they're men and they're connecting on the misogyny part, they're connecting with white men and they're thinking, but white women love us different. I'm like, yeah, but they do, but you black. At the end of the day, you ain't white, and they loving you different because a white man got generational wealth too. It's easier if you take care of me on a whole different level to love you different. But I went to work all day like you went to work all day because we don't have the wealth that we have. And I got called nigga just like you called nigga. And I had somebody who treated me like shit, just like you got treated like shit. And I went to the store today and I got treated horrible. So I probably am not as prepared to give you the love and kindness that a white woman who is sitting on her ass all day has been given, who has not been abused at all, who does not carry the burden that they carry. And so I wish that we could talk about those burdens on every level at some point so we could love each other and see each other and be way more patient and accepting of one another.
But
I'm going on way too long, but Melanie, black love. I'm sorry, I went on too long. Y'all got a minute. Y'all got a minute and a half. Y'all got 1 minute.
First of all, to me, black love, you have to love, your black love should start with yourself.
Yes.
And I know everybody in some way, shape, or form has said that, but I didn't learn what that meant for years after my divorce, what it meant to love me. I two parts. I'm divorced as well, but I'm also 60, so I'm in a different dating class. I'm over 60 now, ma'am.
They got a Netflix show called Dating Over 60.
I saw it.
But in that, black men are very different because whereas a lot of black women, at least most of the black women I know, have put in the work to try to love themselves, to try to be better. I didn't say all black women, I'm just saying the ones I've met. That a lot of us have put in the work to love ourselves, to be ourselves, to be comfortable in our blackness, who we present ourselves to the world. They have not done that work. So they bring their trauma, their baby mama trauma, their ex-wife trauma, their mama trauma, and all that.
But black men are attacked more too by black women.
I'm not saying that because having raised black men.
Yeah, you got 3.
I understand that, but I will also defend my children in saying they voluntarily. Well, I put them in therapy, but now as adults, they've gone to therapy because they want to put in the work because they don't want to fall prey to that. I do believe in black love. I believe it's hard, but what I've learned now is harder.
Okay.
I do believe loving myself and making myself the priority finally in my life may bring me the black love I deserve. Yeah. If I don't get it, I'm good.
All right. Preach.
All right. I look at black love in 3 different areas. So I think that it is easier for black families love in a way that white people do not.
Yeah.
I love the way black families love, even the uncle who's a little crazy, but you're gonna take care of him. We just love in a different way. I think that the way that black women love each other and the friendships that we have, white women could only dream of having that. So it is easy to love your black family. It is easy to love your black sisters. It is harder to love a black man as a person who's married in their 20s, divorced in their 20s, drama, etc. And trying,
etc.
That's a whole book. The book is coming out next year. But just and dating every kind of, from the poor Joe to the pretty Ricky to the whatever, and you can try to give everything the balance, whatever the economics, and just say, I got that. But there is a resentment there. They just grow to, you can give them everything and be just as open, but there's a resentment. So it is harder. I mean, the dating thing, it's just harder. And I think economics has a lot to do with it. If they're not comfortable economically, from an economic perspective, it's just hard. But I'm gonna stick with them. I'm gonna stick with it.
I'm gonna claim that's mine.
That's mine. I just think there's just something so special about a black man that's all I want. And maybe that's because I had black fathers and black uncles. I just love black men, so I'm gonna wait it out.
We're gonna wait.
Man.
Hey, I want to appreciate the 2 brothers in here. Anthony, you might have to jump in and help your brothers out. They only got 2. Anthony.
But truly, everything you guys said is a part of what I want to say, because black love, I think I was going to say before that love doesn't have any structure. It don't have any rhyme. It doesn't have any reason. You cannot control it. You cannot. There's no, and that's the best kind of love, when you can have love that's unconditional. That's how it should be. And sometimes it starts that way, but we grow into different people. And I think that I was going to say that it's equal only because love with white and love with black, we all want the same things. It's almost like racism.
Do you think it's easier to love a black woman or a white woman?
That's all I know.
Do you think we're more difficult?
I can't talk about what they. You know, that's why I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's a fair question.
You want a chicken wing?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I only can see what I see in the media, like, and I don't believe nothing I see in the media because the way they portray us in the media. It's not true. They lie about, they make it seem like we're aggressive, but like you said, that I know growing up in a black community with black family that we have a special way of loving each other. They know that, and I think they're fearful of that. And when they can get it, they jump on it. White, whether it's a woman with a black man or a black man with a white woman with a black man, they know we love a certain kind of way, and they seek that out. Whether they dog us in public, but seek y'all out in public. But what I really wanted to say about love, black love, is that when you get to it, once you grow, and sometimes you grow apart, it goes from infatuation in the beginning, I love that person, I want to be around them, till we're a partner. If we done developed all of this, and we done created all of this, if you want to keep this. But you don't think
race makes a difference?
Race makes a difference from what y'all said before. That's why I didn't say it again. The systematic racism, the trauma that we felt, the divide and conquer that slavery did to us. When we told us to pull us up by our bootstraps, we did, and they still didn't give us what they said they was going to do. They've done that to us over and over and over again. So we can't give up. That's why people give up. They're like, I tried that, and it ain't work. And then their grandmother told them that. Don't worry about that. I tried that, and it doesn't work. Just live your life. Worry about you. Don't worry about nobody else. Get yours. You understand what I'm saying? But see, that's it. Trauma makes you feel that way.
Trauma makes
you understand? So as a black person, that's why everything you said is so important, because we have to love through all of that. Yeah. You understand? And all the time they're trying to say, she make more than you. That's a white construct. You understand what I'm saying? That's a white construct. They own 99% of the wealth for a reason. They've been getting it since the beginning. So and they'll do anything to keep it. That's what we gotta understand. They'll do anything to keep. Get you a little job. Get you a little bonus.
Stop applying white construct.
They making $1 million a year. They would go out their way to step on you, make it difficult for you, and you got to be a very hateful person to do that, and they are.
You got the baton? Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And the craziest thing else, just to pick up what bro said right there, and then get into what about black love and being Harvard, is that that's the thing we have to come to realization. They hate for themselves is so great, they can't value nothing we do. It ain't nothing. So for us to ever look at them like, oh, they hate self. It's the same thing I just said that was earlier. If you don't love the person in the mirror, and they can't love the person in the mirror. So for us to look for any credence from them is foolish. But now let's get on black love. Is it hard? Without a doubt. But I was taught one thing. Anything worthwhile, you gotta work for it. So if we talking about love, and we talking about real love, what we talking about? It's supposed to be difficult, ain't it? It's supposed to be easy. Because that's all I ask my sisters, because again, I respect and love y'all, man, queens. Thank y'all for holding us down. Because shit been fucked up for us. Yeah. We done had the game fucked up, you know what I mean?
Just hearing that, right?
But
I thank y'all, but the one thing I ask you is give us some credence to understand, okay, this is a game whereas we still figuring out as we go.
Right? What?
I was taught one thing, and I looked at a game years ago, me and Crow was talking about this earlier. I said the hell of a thing when I came across Amway, what I realized, I was like, damn. These motherfuckers gave me Scrabble rules to play Monopoly.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Now I went to school, when I went to college, I had kids who told me, I thought I was fortunate to go to Turner Carroll from Buffalo. Because I took SAT classes, and I'm gonna leave on this because I gotta take a piss. I took SAT classes freshman year because I played sports.
Yes.
So I never had study hall. When I was in high school, they didn't let me go to study hall because I played sports. I took SAT classes. I go to college. These white kids been taking SAT classes since they was in kindergarten. So you see, it's like, oh, so I'm playing Monopoly with Scrabble rules, and now you judging me?
That is
Fuck
so
on.
deep.
Love y'all. I'll be right back.
We wish you a nice time in the bathroom.
They really stay for the SATs since kindergarten?
No, I mean,
They have the resources. They just know the game.
When you playing Monopoly and they give you the Scrabble rules, that shit was like profound. That was profound.
That's right there. That's
going back to what we said about the talented chicks, we need to make sure everybody has Monopoly rules because we learned the hard way.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes, I think black love is harder, but I think love itself is healing. And when you're in the process of healing and loving, it's a hard process. So this is what I think. Black women go through their own unique struggles, and black men go through their own unique struggles. And I feel like we kind of think we know what the other's going through. We don't fully understand, you know? So sometimes, like, when another person is struggling, you're like, oh, they can help me in this, but they're going through this whole other thing, and you're not understanding how hard it is for them to bring their full self to the picture. So I feel like when we were going around and talking about, you know, some of the things that we've experienced with black men, and maybe that's been some of the things that caused the divorce or led to like that disconnect. I also think that maybe we don't give enough grace on the sometimes to black men, and I think it's harder if we're doing it on a consistent day-to-day basis, like with your partner. So I think that level of patience, that level of grace, that level of always showing up for them is what we need to do.
What do y'all need? A drink?
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead. Can you pass me that? They can come and take some drink water. Thank you. I know it's not your job, but
So I won't say the word dreamer, but definitely, like, I just believe in the idea that we as black people can still have the love that we all deserve. And I think that we've just allowed so many other things to kind of interfere with our narrative. And I think that we have convinced ourselves that to have what we kind of picture, I think, sometimes is just either we've made it so that we're so particular and so specific that we just don't allow for real life to kind of come into this. And so the reality is what you all have said is that we're all coming to this with trauma, and we're all coming to this with our own experiences and our own fear, but also our own, as you said, scars. And I think that, my parents, all my grandparents were still together, but, in 2024, there were all those memes about, like, your grandmother didn't leave because she loved him so much she couldn't leave because she couldn't get a credit card or she couldn't get a driver's license. And so trying to kind of put that in context, I think, is really hard. But long story short, I just, I want to believe that all these young black women that I meet, that I mentor and whatever, that they can find that thing. Because I remember being in so many spaces. My dad was in the military, so I remember being in all these spaces where there were just so few of us. And I remember being in a situation as a young adult where I watched these young women at a very private, exclusive school in Marin, California, Northern California. And I remember this little black woman, this beautiful young lady, and she was like, "It's so hard being here because I'm invisible." And that broke my heart because I was like, but she's gorgeous. Like,
I didn't think I was pretty until she got it.
But then becomes a problem. So I feel like part of our narrative around this is so tainted because of the media, because of the spin. And so, I want to believe.
That's there.
And I've seen it. I see it. Like it has worked out for so many people in my life. But I've seen a lot of us, kind of like it's all wrong and it's foul and it's all the bad stuff. And so I don't know. I feel I'm mixed. Like I want to believe that we can all have that, but I also feel like our choices as black women who want to date black men
and black straight men, and so I just
No, you had talking about the eligibility.
And single black straight men.
They got it rough.
Okay.
They
Now the percentages.
They got it rough.
No, but that's
They got it rough. They got it rough.
Right.
And so, and again, I'm not judging your own, like, whatever, but I as a heterosexual white woman, I don't want to date a black man that is bisexual or prefers men. That's just my thing. So I feel like
So your numbers are
so my
narrowed.
numbers have now narrowed. And right.
That's reality.
No, that's real. You can't knock the black woman.
So,